Good evening. Good evening. So, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, it's Christmas, and this is something that we have been growing up with. And along the way, a lot of understanding have come, quite all right. Or a lot of revelation. It's not even revelation, it's like something that is the history, it is there, but we didn't know about it. But now we have come into that knowledge. But what are we doing with the knowledge? What are we doing with the knowledge? You understand? So the goal for me is not to break down the Christian institution, because you don't have a replacement yet. So you, like, for example, coming from the southeast, at the time, the whole life was structured along Christianity, along Catholic Church, along Anglican Church, along, I think the only Pentecostal I knew at the time I was growing up was Assemblies of God Church. So, yeah, like I used to hear about Omar, but it was not from our side. He used to hold crusade. And then at some point, Fadelele and Fadede or something like that, I don't remember precisely, some kind of Pentecostal movement within the Catholic Church, and then also the EFAC, Evangelical Fellowship of the Anglican Commission. So, you have all this movement, because that was when all these things was coming up, right? So now the whole system has been structured around Christianity. Like, for example, when someone gives birth, the child is taken to church for blessing, for christening. And when someone dies, the church does the burial, for example. You understand? So now that you have structured the life around Christianity, right, instead of you to talk about breaking it down completely, because normally the church is an institution. That is why in the beginning, people who were pastors were also leaders, like they were also like community heads, something like that. So instead of you to be talking about breaking it down completely, is control. Who taught the people to revere and almost fall to the ground when they see someone that just because he's a man of God? Who taught the people that? Because when I was growing up as an Anglican person, I knew that our Reverend Father, our catechist, they were always on guard, because they were like, everybody was monitoring them, and people were writing petition. Like, it was a common thing that even they were aware, like they could do anything, they could go and someone would be writing petition against them to their superior. So there was no fear of them. Instead, it was scrutiny. It's like everybody have the power or the privilege to scrutinize them. And people I knew, even in the Anglican church, it was scrutiny all the way. People were scrutinizing them and writing to their superiors, because they have hierarchy. So if you're a catechist, they will write to your reverend. If you're a reverend, they will write to your vicar, that kind of a thing. So they were always on guard, because people were scrutinizing them. So I don't know when people began to have this unequivocal power and fear and adulation that they bequeathed to the people that call themselves pastor, right? And these people that are one man church and they don't have any superior, they are, it stops at their deck and call, they are answerable to no one. And somehow the people were taught to reverence them. You know, what else do you expect to happen? They are human beings. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yes. Once you bequeath that kind of power to somebody, you corrupt him absolutely. You can never know what is going to happen with that power. And that is the question, that who bequeathed people who call themselves man of God, pastor, reverend, who bequeathed them that power? You. So we need to teach the people not to give them that kind of power, to see them as fallible humans that are able to do evil, that are capable to be evil, that are capable to exploit. See them as human. It don't have unbreakable faith. By their action, by their fruit, you shall know them. It is in the Bible. It says, by their fruit, you shall know them. Why are you not checking the fruit that anyone that calls himself a pastor, a this, before you bow down, before you submit your children, and especially the women? We have to teach the women. Protect your children. You don't allow your children anywhere. Just like you will scrutinize where your children goes to school, who is their teacher, who has access to your children. This is the same thing you would do. If someone is a priest, you have to Google, check what is the history of this person. Stop adulating people because they say they are man of God. Stop it. Stop it. That's the main issue, because you are not going to wish away the Christian institution because it is established. Instead, you can establish an alternative institution and people will naturally be drawn to it. But keep in mind, everywhere you have people running any organization, any institution, and they have absolute power, they will abuse it. That's why there's always a check and a balance. They will abuse it. Normally, the churches used to have elders council, something like that, people that come together, those people that can take up, complaints. But when you make it one person, oh, my papa, hey, oh, my papa, that's how they will take advantage of your women. They will exploit and manipulate your women. Why? Because they have gone to school and they have learned human psychology. Yes, they have studied humans, they have observed human psychology. And to destroy a man, you have to have access to his wife and his children. What else is left? You will just be an empty skull. So if you are a man, you have to be able to take charge of your family. If you are a mother, you have to be able to take charge of your children. You don't allow anybody access to your children. And most stupid one I see is parents that allow their young children to go to somewhere without any supervision. Like, you just give them, submit your children to them. Are you people okay? Like, what has happened to the psyche of our people? I think we need to address that. Today we have internet, and when the worst is when they are telling you, like, look at what these people, with evidence, people are coming to reveal. You will not believe it. You don't want to accept it. Are you people okay? You people have to be open-minded and listen, especially when your lives are involved. Because when young life is damaged, you can't repair it. It's not easy again. So these people have access to young children, and you have to be on your guard. Whether even if you are a woman, even if you're an adult woman, you have to be on your guard. Don't lose your guard. Watch and pray. Stay on your guard. Put on your own armor and be vigilant. Don't lose your guard because somebody say he's a man of God. Don't lose your senses. God has given you that thinking faculty for a reason. Use it. If your mind, your spirit is whispering to you that something is wrong, something is not right, yes, then accept it. Something is not right. They are not going to, because you fall mumu parents, mumu mama, otele that you are a yeye mumu woman that went to carry your pikin and submit to some yeye pastor. They're not going to stop Christianity because of that. Yeah, they're not going to stop Christianity. So you don't have an alternative. Tell me, like that's one thing that I wonder. You want to destroy Christianity. Where is your own? I've never seen ordinala school. I've never seen ordinala establishment. I've never. Instead, ordinala go and butishi, okite, do like this, bring crocodile, bring a cockroach, bring a rupture, bring this one. Like they say that they sacrifice 10 virgins for Nnaburu Hamna Bepuru Hishi so that they will release him. Something like that. That was what we are seeing. Because that's what we are seeing. So I think the energy we are using to say stop Christianity, you're not going to be able to stop it because it's something that is already established. But you can have control of your family, of your world. You can decide, what happens to them. And if anybody try any rubbish with you change them for them immediately. And they know who they target. They know the kind of, they are not going to target anybody. They are going to size up the population. If they don't see that mumu man, they'll say, that one, hey, they'll say, come here, okay? They will manipulate you because they don't see say you no get sense. They know they manipulate anybody. It's not everybody. They know their target. They don't see mumu woman wey born fine children. Their own don't finish. So it is left for you to be on your guard. If you know dey that place, no send your children. If your children that time wey they say make children go their own, no, that time don't pass. If you are child, if they know you are there, they cannot try shit. Go and ask anybody that they abuse, they take advantage of. They know that nobody is there. Nobody is looking. When you are looking, nobody go dare touch your pikin. Nobody. They no born that person well. They no born that person well. If you are vigilant and they know that you are sharp, your head is there, nobody will try any rubbish with your family, with your wife or your pikin. Then they crazy. They know now. But when they don't see mumu, so the goal is tell yourself, I shall not be mumu. I shall not be mumu of 2024 going forward for any pastor. You have to shine your eye. Yeah, you say Omenala is not all about going to Dibia. I know. Going back to the root is not all about going to the Dibia. But what are we seeing? What are we seeing? What is on ground? What is available? I've never seen anybody that say, oh, there's a way our people used to produce iron, for example. Let's go and look at that technology. How can we improve it? Going back to our rule, have a school that is teaching people or something like that. No, I've never seen. Every day, everybody come and hey, going there, they come and do masquerade. Who that one help in 21st century? In 21st century, whereas the church have institutions, have universities, you are there doing ordinarily, you don't get even community gathering where people will come and learn philosophy of old age, you don't get. You can't keep fighting everything, fighting Nigeria, fighting institutions. You can't fight everything. You have to tailor what exactly is your goal. You have to be able to achieve something in your lifetime. And if you want to establish thinking back home, thinking back in the way of your ancestors, you have to start from their ideology, their principles, their life values, the value systems they held. Those are the things that held the society together. You have to start from there. It's not fighting, oh, these Oyibo people, and you are doing worse. You are doing worse. Go to Ifi Obinabo channel on Facebook. She's Anambra woman welfare leader, something like that, commissioner. Go and see the cases she's treating. Young orphans. They want to take away their inheritance, disinherit orphans. You are not happy to train them. You don't ask them how they are surviving. You want to disinherit them with the little that they have in the name of tradition. In the name of tradition. Then you have to ask, what exactly is the tradition? What does the tradition uphold? To what end? Because those are the things that made people to go to the church. Because of because of because of lack of truth, people went to the church. There was a reason the people abandoned the normal religion. The people abandoned it and went to where there was safety, where there was benefit. Yes, the first initial time they were forced, they fought and they lost. But later on, what convinced more people to join? More and more people begin to convince and to join. Why? Because of the brutality that they experience, because of the injustice that they experience. How do you disinherit a widow and orphans in the name of your tradition? Tell me how. What good? Whereas in the church, they are catering for widows and orphans. Normally, originally, right? They are sponsoring young people to go to school to learn a skill through church funds. They are giving them health care through the church. They are able to go and eat or want it. You are not offering anyone through ordinarily. You are not. Instead, the person that have not eaten, you will say, go and bring me crocodile head. How? You have to have an alternative. People will gravitate to it naturally. If you have something that is better, they know the third person. If you have something that is better, all of us that came to Facebook, nobody say, oh yeah, time to go to Facebook, because you saw that Facebook, you like it, how it is going, you went and opened your account. Nobody forced anybody to open Facebook account. If it is something that is bringing good, is something that is enlightening, entertaining, bringing benefit, people will gravitate to it. Nobody gravitates to something that doesn't show the benefits. Nothing. Nobody. So, irrespective of the understanding you have come to, look at Europe, where Christianity came from. Christianity didn't come from Europe. They copied it. They copied it. What did they do with it? They turned it into their norm. They used the Christian principles to create a culture of welfare. What did you do with our own? The same Christianity they came to us as African people. What are we doing with it? Exploiting our own. Everywhere you go, they are exploiting. Exploiting. Is that the fault of the white man? Yeah? Is it not said that somebody plans something for you as to use it against you, that you will use your brain to change it? If you are the good one and the people that brought the other one is bad, how have you reflected it? The kind of things people are doing, the kind of things people are doing with Christian religion in Africa, nowhere else is it being done. For example, let me show you this one. I don't want it to talk. I want you to look at this video. So somebody now set his leg and is making women, people's mother, people's wife. Where did he see that happen in Europe? Did any European tell him to do this to his own people? Some they will tell them to drink bleach, drink poison, bite grass, do this, do this. Some they will bring a flog, you know. Look at it. Who asked them? Who sent them? Is this the Christianity that they gave to him? Is it the Christianity they gave to him? And all the people are sitting down there. Nobody can challenge. Say, where is this one coming? But even in the Bible, they say, prove our spirit and see if they are right. But you are there. These are women. Women are the foundation of every society. And look at what you are doing with women. Nobody go there, go kick that leg, throw away for there. See them. Mumu. Nobody do honor. Now they do honor self. Now they do honor self. Nobody send on this thing. Yeah. So you gave them absolute power because of Christianity, and they are exploiting it right in your face because they don't have any respect for you. And now they'll tell your daughters and your women, your mothers. Imagine a woman that go through under the leg of imagine that kind of woman will gladly submit her child. Iberiberezi overload in the name of church. Have you gone to anywhere in Europe and see this kind of behavior? Even in the olden days where their church was bad, it never reached like this. This is what African people are doing to their own people, not Europeans, not in the name of church. The European church, it was brutal in the beginning. Later, they metamorphosed it into something that gave them freedom, that gave them welfare, that gave them all this, for example, emergency, like someone is sick, you call emergency, you call Red Cross, all those kind of things. That's how it started. What are we adding? What value? Except some people who build university and schools that their members cannot afford. But at least it's serving some purpose to some people, whatever, right? This is example. Link to the program. Yeah, of course. Let me share. Yeah. And they say, let us go back to our roots. Let us go back to our roots. Yes, we can go back to our roots. But every day, what root do we see? Okite. Eh? Human sacrifice. Let me share this video. I'm not going to let it talk again. So this is something that they used to use, for example, in the olden days to cast iron. Eh? And they use it, for example, to produce hose, knife, spoon, all those kind of basic iron steel material that we had in the past. Eh? How come that no one that is interested in going back to the root is talking about how to revisit the technology of our people to start from where they stop? Because we are stuck. Our evolution is stuck. Where they met us, now there we dey. The way they take do that egusi 20 years, to how many 100 years ago, now so we still they do the egusi till tomorrow. By now, garri production supposed to be mechanical for where we no see. Only us do things, the same way, that way they are doing it since many years ago. That is the same way they are doing it today in 2025. Where is those people that say they want to go to their root? Why don't you go and harness that technology and make it something big so that it will employ youth in the communities? Everything is not about fight. We are not the only ones that were colonized. We are not the only one that was colonized. China, they had the same problem. All over the world, they have the same problem. They went home and started working, putting their society in order. Gradually, things fell into place. But our own will be on talking, cursing, fighting, dragging as if it is something. It's nothing. It's nothing. I don't know if anybody wants to join. You can join here or you can call in. However, you are welcome to do so, to add and have your say, right? So this is garri that we are eating in Nigeria. Garri that we are eating in Nigeria, the same way they produce it many, many years ago. Old women whom they have to use plate to be turn it, be something that's supposed to be in machine. Just put cassava, the process, come end up in bag. Now lie, we no fit. We no fit enough. We are stuck. That if you are talking about going back to the roots, working together as a community. There's a video that was showing when white people came and somebody wanted to build a house and the community came together. They were like working together as a community. That is going back to the roots. All the people that are saying they want to go back to root today, what are they are talking about is this supposed to be something like this, supposed to be a project for engineering university. They will use this idea now to create a factory. You have to give your device connection, right? So I am not saying anybody should not believe in what they want to believe or do what they want to do, all those kind of a thing. But everything cannot just be antagonism. There are bad people in Christian faith. Yes, open your eye. Don't fall for their hand, because you are the one that walk into their trap. Hello, my sister. You're welcome. Hello.
Hello, blessed and compliment of the season.
Compliment of the season.
How are you guys doing? Sorry to hear that you had COVID, and I'm glad you guys are better now. The
Yeah,
stuff is making wave back again, I can
yeah,
tell you.
yeah,
Last
yeah.
week, everybody in my house was down with flu. Okay, 2 weeks ago with flu, except with the exception of me and my second daughter. So
Wow.
we are fine now.
Yeah.
So blessed you raised a topic that touched my heart.
Okay.
Going back to the root.
Yeah.
I am opportune to mingle with African Americans. In fact, let me start with a video I stumbled into this morning when I was
Okay.
scrolling on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows Maya Angelou. the
Yeah.
renowned American poet.
Yeah.
So when she was 62 years old, she was hosting a conference where people were asking her questions. So
Mm-hmm.
a girl that would be around 10 to 13 years old addressed her with by her first name Maya,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
by her first name Maya. So she cautioned that poor young girl and said, "Don't call me Maya. I have so many years ahead of you to call me Maya. Call me Miss Maya. I can
Mm-hmm.
be your mother, I can be your grandmother, I can be your teacher, I can be your professor. I'm your host. Don't call me Maya." So when she finished, so the anchor picked the microphone and asked him a question. Did you are you saying that because you don't like her or because you think that values are dying down?
Mm.
She said that values are dying down, that the generation we are, she said two, three generations. That was when she was 62. She died at 80 something in 2014. So that
Mm-hmm.
was long time ago. She said
Mm.
her main concern wasn't about that child, it was about values dying down. So another woman stood up and said she was born in another state, moved to California, that she noticed that values are simply dead. So
Mm.
that brings me back to going to our value, to going back to Omenale and the
Yeah.
destruction it has brought so far. I
Mm.
weep when I see people saying they are going back to Omenale, they are doing this. I have been opportune to go close to a couple of African American young women of my age. Do you know one thing they ever wish? Number one, that they have a place that they can go to when they want to
Mm.
escape the stress of Alabeke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number two, they will say they wish they had a culture. One
Mm.
of them told me, your marriage is over a decade old now and you have no intention of divorcing or having a toxic relationship because you people have a culture. How
Mm.
I wish we have a culture. My
Mm.
dear, my sister, when I listen to stuff like this, I put it together and connect it to what our brothers call going back to our root. All this
Mm.
going to our root started from a people that listen to Nnamdi Kanu. It is not, it didn't start from people who are genuinely wanting to revive our Igbo. If we want
Mm.
to go back to our root, in those beautiful days, a young girl, they kind of, they measure a young girl's maturity by the amount of impact she made in the life of older people, going to help them out. Did we see those things as embodied in this going back our root now?
Mm.
They measure your worth by how much people you're able to feed from your yam ban. Going back to our root today, they replace trying to reach out to the underprivileged with kidnapping people that are richer than you just to get their money. That is what they call going back to our root. While I agree, I believe I so much I embody our African value. You
Mm.
can't trade it for nothing. If you
Mm.
mingle with people who do not have strong culture, you will see the pain in their heart that they
Mm.
wish they came from a place we came from. When they see us, they say that when they see us copying American culture, trying to make our children grow long hair as kids and boys, that they
Mm.
will laugh and say, these people are dropping what is so valuable for what
Mm.
is nothing. That when somebody confronted me, say, I see your people. When they move here, they will let their son grow dreadlock. What is it for? You people come down from Africa with your hair scraped, and Nigerians top the list of the most educated immigrant community.
Oh,
If you
I'm not
people were
seeing.
growing
Ah,
dreadlock, he
okay.
said, he
It's
said, if
okay.
you
Yeah.
people were growing dreadlock and afro in Africa, Nigerians will not be so focused to achieve what they have achieved academically. Honestly, when they say going back to our roots, and you pay attention, 90% of the people going back to our root, they are going to Nnamdi Kanu's route. They are not going to our root because our root is sacred. When I my first my during my first degree in Nigeria, I was taught that one of the elements of African culture is the sacredness of blood.
Hmm.
Going back to our root today with Iji Madu Chụaja, how
Hmm.
did it embody sacredness of blood?
Hmm.
I have nothing, absolutely nothing. After all, if you grow among traditionalists in Nigeria, they are in the eastern region where I grew, they are
Hmm.
well coordinated. They have things they consider taboo. Under no circumstance will they cross it. But you see these people going to Nnamdi Kanu's route. The only thing they call going back to root is impunity.
Hmm.
Then let us talk about Christianity. I am a Christian in America. I go to church in America. You see that thing they are doing in Nigeria?
Mm.
It is nothing but jamboree and brainwashing. The church I go to, every single September, they will do a total account of every money raised in that church and submit it to every member. You have the right to raise your hand and question whatever you didn't agree with.
Yeah.
The pastor do not count the money. He get paid salary because he's a psychologist.
Mm.
You don't work as you don't work in the church there, and it is the only job you have.
Mm.
Executive pastor is a university lecturer. So how will they be embezzling fund, hoping to extort from people when they have lucrative businesses? When they have successful career and make church their second job, why would they be brainwashing people? Because what I see you show here now, it made me shed tears. I called my husband and said, see what they said, that thing they're doing is not church. That they knew who they gathered together.
All right.
That they
Let's let
gathered
our
people
brother
together, they are
talk
taking
also.
advantage of
Yeah.
them. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Yeah, but
All
before
right.
Odogu, just a minute before you speak, I want to show a video of Igbos in 1948, not even long ago. They were building together, you
That
know,
is what I know as
needed to
our
do
root.
something, and everybody came together, and with all their strength and their might, they are building together to
Blessed of,
achieve
permit me
their
to
goal.
say one more thing. Permit me to say one more thing. I am a millennial, but I heard the story that in those days in my area, if you want to build a house, it is a communal project.
Yeah,
People will gather. Some people will gather the red earth. They will dig it up. The young men.
yeah,
Some people will go and gather the roof from the bush. Everybody, women will be cooking and fetching water. That
yeah.
it is a communal effort.
Yeah, even
This
right up
greed.
to the time people were going to the university, going to there was a village send off. Like the village,
Yes.
they send you off to go and learn and bring something good for the
And
community.
when you are
That
coming, the
is
family
going back
community
to the
will
roots.
welcome you. Yes, that is what I
Yeah.
know as going to our. You see, this going to Nandekanu's route is different from what I was told and what I heard.
All
That it
right.
is what our
Let's
people wear. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Let
Thank
me
you so
start.
much
Let
for
me
joining.
let me mute my microphone.
All right. Odogu, you are welcome. Happy Christmas. Happy holidays. You're welcome. Um, are you hearing me? Odogu, you're welcome. Oh. I think he's not hearing. Yeah, so yeah, the floor is open, Odogu. You're welcome. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy everything every.
Yeah,
Am I coming out loud?
very, very clear.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Huh?
Yeah, we can hear you. I mean, I can hear you.
Can you hear
I
me? Can you hear me very well?
very well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, happy everything. Yeah.
yeah, happy everything.
First of all, I want to start by saying clarifying some things. Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to our root is not following Nnamdi Kanu. That I want to correct first.
Okay.
Going back to our root is not following Nnamdi Kanu. Because Nnamdi Kanu himself don't even know much about our roots. He is talking about that we Igbos are Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had him when he was saying that
Mm.
on a live program. Now, the video you showed where they are building a house in community as a communal effort.
Mm.
I lived it. I watched it in the village because I grew up in the village.
Ah, okay.
I grew up in my maternal home. There was a house. I got that house burnt during Hamatan on Mpo Day. On Mpo Day, people went to the market,
Mm.
and I was so stubborn. And then I was like boasting that I can burn this house. You
Mm.
know, my fellow small boys, Imago, say, oh, you cannot. I say, I cannot. They say, you cannot. I put fire and burn that house. So I watched that house when that house was being rebuilt. Mud house with akrika, with all
Mm.
those thatch things, yeah. It was the entire village that came and built that house back with all those stars, with all the mods, with all the building of the mods and constructing everything.
Mm.
So in my lifetime, I had watched a community build a house. No single person can build a house in those days. I watched it. I saw it.
Mhm. Okay.
Now, all those people you showed on your program building that house,
Mm.
that time, majority of them are not Christians.
Yeah.
That time, all of those people that are partaking in that building of house in a communal effort, all
Yeah.
of them are not Christians.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you would also see a video where community come together and farm. They are farming and they are farming. After this one, they will go to another person and farm. After that one, they will go to another person and farm. You understand? And you see somebody singing song in the bush. I mean, in the where they are farming, and they were all farming like as if they are soldier ants. You know, before you know it, under couple of minutes, a whole farmland is cultivated. You understand?
Yeah.
All of them, all of those people that were doing that farming, yes, these people you are showing now,
Yeah.
all of them, I tell you, were not Christians.
Yeah.
They were not Christians. Majority of them are traditionalists.
Yeah.
Now, why I am trying to make this foundation is it is not that our tradition is bad. Of course, every society, every people have some ups and downs, things that should have been changed or upgraded, which we had also, just like also the white people have those things in their own time, because there are a lot of evil and a lot of atrocities they also committed.
Yeah.
But every society is organic.
Yeah.
One of the mistakes we usually make, I mean, some people now who are Christians, they
Yeah.
usually want to judge our ancestors and the traditional, our traditional ways of life by the demonization, all the evil things that they were told that our ancestors were doing.
Because we are
Forgetting that
witnessing it
also the
today. We are witnessing woman sacrifice. We are still witnessing
hello,
human sacrifice. I said, because we are still witnessing human sacrifice.
I can't hear you. Can I continue?
Yeah, you can
Because since
continue.
you're talking.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me continue. So now, people who are Christian today, people, please, I can't hear you from the device that I'm watching, so that's why I am using this one. So if you would allow me to finish my contribution, then you can continue what you want to say, because I can't hear you from here. And if I increase the volume of this one, it will be interrupting with what I'm saying. So I want to continue. So the people who are Christians today, they are judging our tradition with the challenges our people had in the olden days. And I'm telling you that everywhere you go, even in Europe, they had their challenges, even in the olden days. Even that time that Christianity started in Europe, they had a lot of atrocities, a lot of things going on in Europe. We all know that. I also know that. I mean, I had some talk with Ethiopians who told me what they were doing in Europe at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now, but eventually, there was one thing you said when you were talking. When Christianity came, initially we were forced. You said it. I heard you say that.
Yeah.
We were forced. Now, with that force, a lot of people joined Christianity, even with the challenges, those things I call challenges we were having in our tradition in those days, which could have been updated or changed had we been left alone, yeah. So a lot of people joined Christianity, and then almost it got to a point, almost everybody joined Christianity. And if you remain adamant and remain a traditionalist, you will be a kind of ostracized. You will be a kind of like nobody wants to have anything to do with you. Even your wife will be following the church. And then the men who are stubborn will remain in Omenana and all of that. Now, in bringing that back home, some of the things you see that our people are doing today, every one of them that you see that are doing Omenana today, which you call Okit and all those Igbo and all of those things, those people, those young people and those youths are also people who they had gone to church at one time or the other. You understand? They had gone to church at one time or the other, but because everybody's mind has been messed up, both in the church and in Omenana. So again, they now came back and they now begin to use that, use Okite, use Ibobo, use this, use the sacrifices and all of those things to defraud people and to extort people of their money. Because the average black man or average Igbo man is looking for money, what something that will enhance his business or something to make money. If he cannot get it in the church, you see him, even while he's still going to the church, you see him want to go and patronize one DBO kit in the secret. So some people now took advantage of that and begin to use it to defraud our people. But that has nothing to do with the real Igbo cosmology or tradition. It has nothing to do with that. And that is also different from the challenges that I told you we were having in those days. We had challenges, just like also the white people had challenges. But when we are talking about our own tradition, we, some of us who are still Christians or who still live in abroad, they will close their eyes. They don't want to make research and see that even the white people have, in fact, their atrocities are even more than our own. But that being said, what you are seeing on Facebook or people destroying our waterways and dirtying everywhere and killing this and killing that and showing you red cloth and Igbo and all those things, they are not Igbo tradition. They are not. Okay,
All right.
so
Thank you
now
very much.
I am for
Okay.
going back to our root. I am for going back to our root.
Okay.
I used to be a Christian and I am no longer a Christian.
Okay.
Anybody who is a Christian can remain a Christian. Now, when you come to Christianity, look at, if you tell me that what those women are doing, those women that are crawling on the ground, do you know how many miles they crawled? If you tell me that that thing is not in the name of religion, I will tell you no, I disagree. They were doing it because they have been brainwashed by religion, by the same Christianity. They were doing it to partake in the suffering of Christ. Do you know I had witnessed Ngari Nkobe. They call it Ngari Nkobe, which the Catholics do. There was a time I visited one of my uncle in Abakaliki. Okay, they will go and do Ngari Nkobe. You will see somebody will carry cross. They will be beating that person. Like, in fact, I have even seen it like last year in Enugu. So, and those people that are partaking in that type of dehumanizing activities, they are doing it because they have been brainwashed by their pastors, by the Christian whatever pastors, to believe that they are partaking in the suffering of the so-called Jesus Christ. You understand? So now, so they are doing it, and they are doing it wholeheartedly, even if their knee got peeled off for kneeling or crawling from whatever they are crawling from. And they will be so proud that they partook in that Ngari in Kobe and that suffering for that year. So now, do you see where we have gone to? How can you now, and honestly speaking, you cannot see anybody in Europe or America, a white woman or a white man, from where this same Christianity came, partook in that type of dehumanizing activities. Now, where you have a problem is, how can you correct it? African people are different from white people. We think differently, we vibrate differently, we understand things differently. Now, we have been reduced to almost like an animal because of religion. You understand? In the average Igbo tradition, in fact, Ada, somebody who is Ada, you cannot You cannot molest Ada. You cannot treat women. We don't molest women. We respect women. Women have their institution and men have their institution. And we meet somewhere along the line. There is nothing like all these things of demonizing our tradition that this no, that is not our tradition. But along the way, just like what is going on in Christianity now, along the way, some people now begin to introduce some dirty things and some inhumane treatment to people, and then other people will now think that it is Igbo tradition. No, just like what you are seeing those women do, was that what white people taught them? Did they teach you to be kneeling and kneeling the whole town? You understand? So that is the same thing. You see, so what I'm trying
Okay.
to say,
Okay. Let's give
go ahead.
our other guests room to speak, so that we can continue. Thank you very much for your input. I don't know who is this. You are free to speak. Shabolka.
It's all right.
Hello,
Shabolka. I don't
good
know who
evening.
that. Good evening.
Compliments of the season, huh?
I wish you the same.
Yeah. I just wanted to say something. First of all, like I appreciate your show. I've been
Okay.
trying to watch you for some time, every time when I'm free, and I
Oh,
really
okay.
enjoy what you're doing.
Thank
And as
you.
a lady, I really commend you. We need more
Thank
ladies like you in the society where we from in the community where we're from. I wish we got more sisters who could step up and be and just do something. We
thank
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Go on. And to Big Bro in the house, Big Bro and yeah, and what I want to say is the question because I like what he's saying, and I've been having these discussions with people, and I'm trying to clarify something because I love the Igbo cosmology, right? I try to study a little bit about our
Yeah.
cosmology, and but the problem I have with the traditional, the people who's trying to, who's championing the let's go back to our roots, the people who champion that movement. The problem I have with them is the honesty. They're not honest about the whole Igbo tradition and culture because it's
Mhm.
just like the Christianity, like the Western ideologies that was brought to Africa. Not everything about it is good, right? Because if you read the Bible, you see it. If you're a rationally alert person, or if you're a logical mind, if you read the Bible or the Quran, you can see clearly where the teachers or where the prophets lie to you, and you can see clearly how they're not doing what the Holy Book says.
Yeah.
You can see it very clear.
Yeah.
And for me, I think what got our forefathers interested in Christianity was the beauty of the message. It was not about the white man, but it was just the moral impact of the message. Because the
Yeah.
message is about a God coming to die for you.
Yeah.
Because
Instead
in
of you
Africa,
sacrificing your own child,
instead of
right?
you sacrificing your own child or sacrificing all your livestock, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, the village is left in famine. We're hungry because we don't got no more cows, no more chicken, and we keep sacrificing our chicken. And
Or
then we have a God who came to die
a
for us.
young maiden has
And
to
that's
be
what the Bible
given
really tried to tell
sacrifice
us.
for one thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I understand. But when I go to church since I've been born, since I was a child, I didn't get this understanding in church. What I understood was just an institution to think for you and to show you how you need to live your life and put you under some bondage. So if we go back and now when I study the Igbo cosmology, I see a lot of things that is beautiful in it. I see a lot of things that is honorable. And then I see a lot of things that I have a problem in 2023. Oh, now we're going to be in 2024. I have a problem with that. I'm asking the question I'm asking is this: if we can be honest about the whole Igbo culture and tradition, who's going to do the reform? Because if we're going to go back to the ways of our ancestors, if we can be honest to ourselves, there's a lot of things that needs to be reformed in the tradition and culture. Because that's what still took our forefathers away from there and went to the
Yeah.
white man's way. Because it was a lot of things that scared them. And those things have been written down before time, before we was born. So who amongst us is gonna champion that reform? Because that's the only thing that can make people really take it serious. Because I love there's nothing, I don't see nothing evil in the evil cosmology. I see the Chineke, the Chi, and the Eke creating the world. It's just like a string theory. If you study science, it's the most scientific I can't even talk about it right now. It's so beautiful if we can teach these things, the real Igbo cosmology, not
Yeah.
the Omenala and but we need reforms in that too. So who
Yeah.
amongst us is deep enough, spiritual enough, mature enough, and elder enough to champion that?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah. Thank you. My sister,
Okay.
you can come in yeah,
Okay, so
finalize.
good afternoon, Odogu.
We
Good
have
afternoon, our guest. So, I want to clear something. Odogu, I don't know whether you misunderstood me when I say people going back to Nnamdi Kanu. I have a grandmother who had kids before the Civil War, who is still living. So, which means she has her fair share of history right now, who is still living with her memory intact. So, when I say people going back to traditional people, that's what I'm seeing now is people going back to Nnamdi Kanu. I don't mean traditionalists because every single thing they represent is contrary to what our culture says. That was what I mean by that. I don't remember. You said the Tolumada is a very strong, uh, uh, um, what do we call them, disciplinary group where I was born. You dare not fall into the hands of Umuada. But in today's people
institution.
saying they are go, huh? You say what?
Yeah. So while you are talking, I want to be showing you guys Nnamdi Kanu's roots. Just
Uh-huh.
just to kind of
So
amplify Odogo's point.
Umuada is a
So it
strong
is
force in
Nnaburu
pre
ha Kanu.
in pre-colonial Igbo society. Umuada is a very strong force. But me watching onye Igbo, where Ada Igbo na-achụ aja, and telling me this tradition in a tradition that protected Igbo. That is Nnamdi Kanu's making. Every single broadcast of Nnamdi Kanu, he threatens to iji onye ọbụla na-ekweghị na nke o kwuru chụọ aja. And that is what I'm seeing. It has nothing to do with everything my grandmother tells us all the time about what our
Okay.
society was.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
So me, I want to come in the fact that, like Odogu, you said that what they are doing, that the people who have gone to church, and the church did not give them what they are looking for, and they are looking for answers, quick answers, and they are going back to our roots, and then those people now saw the need that these people have and decided to exploit it and take advantage of them, and thereby doing all these okite and all these things we are seeing and witnessing today, that it is not the real tradition, right? So that's what you are submitting. And are you not seeing a parallel there, that the religion that the Europeans brought to Africans is not also what they are practicing? What they are doing is taking advantage of their own fellow Africans, exploiting the poverty, weaponizing the poverty against their own people, and taking
Okay.
and exploiting their own women. So, like our brother said now, where is the solution?
Okay. Let me
Blessed
come in.
them. Blessed them.
Let me come in.
Although, can I just say
Let
one
me.
word and buttress what she said? Talking
Um.
about Western religion and what Africans are doing with religion. I live in a city that is always every now and then hurricane will hit us. And when hurricane hit, guess what? The church will
You
open
do.
for the church will open for shelter. There will be an announcement if you are a member of you don't have to be a member of the church to go there and ask for help. Feeding, clothing, all of them come from church. When I lost my father, the church wanted to do fundraising for me. But when we practice religion in Africa, the church will want to take from you when you lose your person. That is
Mm.
Let
different
me.
from what they
Uh,
do here.
uh, yeah. Let me come in,
So,
my
my people,
people.
I hope by the you are listening and seeing the Nnamdi Kanu roots that is
Let
taking
me.
his
Let me.
kingdom.
Let me come in.
When we send them the Kanu route, this is what we mean, not what Odogu is. Odogu is being honest about our tradition. The people out there are running after the Kanu's route.
Yeah,
Let me say something, my people. Yeah.
yeah.
And whatever I'm saying, honestly, I'm not saying it to my sister, my other sister. I think I agree with what you are saying. I'm not misunderstanding you. But
Okay, sir.
whatever I want to say, honestly, I'm saying it from the depth of my heart. Anibo is really in a mess. Hmm?
Mm.
Anibo is
It's a crime
in a
scene.
mess. But I will explain to you
Oh
now.
no.
Get
Oh
you see
no.
that video you are showing now. You will see some so-called Ndi Omenana also wearing that same thing Nnamdi Kanu is wearing.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly why I said the root
okay.
of Nnamdi
Hold on,
Kanu.
hold on, my sister. Hold on.
Matthias a
See,
case study.
hold
Matthias a
on now.
case
Hold
study.
on, my sister. Hold on now.
Calm down, calm
Or
down. It's not
should
one
I
person at a
quiet
time.
and then you talk?
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Hmm,
no. Go
hmm.
ahead. I'm enjoying the whole
So
thing.
I am I was a Christian 40 something fucking years of my life,
Mm.
but I am no longer a Christian. And I am so happy that I am no longer a Christian. But abụ m ezigbo mmadụ to the core. Nke a bụrụ, this one is not like don't praise yourself. No, I praise myself. I am a good man. People who have done things with me will testify. Some of them might be watching me. I don't say this or that. You understand? That I left Christianity does it is not Christianity will make you that I left Christianity don't mean that I am no longer a good person. So what I'm saying is this, yeah. Um these things,
Sorry, oh, this
these
guy is
things,
just cracking me up.
these things that you are seeing, even though I am on your banana, I don't agree and I don't subscribe to all these things Matthias them are doing. You understand? All these things you see that they are doing. You see, the other time Matthias was arrested, I came out, I also spoke against his arrest and for his release. But that does not mean I am in support of this level of for this practice of Omena which they are doing. Now, the reason why you see people coming and joining is because people are fed up with what is called church in Anibo or so many other places in Africa. People are fed up.
Yeah.
So, and people want to see, okay, Omenana, okay, we've been here because all those people, even Matthias, everybody you are seeing that is talking Omenana, this place where they are also people that were coming out from the church. They don't even know the version of Omenana, what is real Omenana that they want to practice. And that brings me to the question our brother asked. Who is the one that will teach us the real Omenana? Now, before I go to who will teach us the real Omenana, do you see now that why I say that Anibo is messed up? Both the Christians and both the so-called Omenana, they both support evil. They agree in one thing, and in that one thing they agree is whatever IPOB say, whatever Nnamdi Kanu say, whatever Simon Ekpa say, whether you buy somebody, whether you collect somebody, whether you do anything in the name of Biafra, they support it. Both the so-called Christians and both the so-called Omenana, they disagree when it comes to religions and faith, but they agree when it comes to Biafra. So don't you see everything is just messed up.
Yeah.
Is
Now
For me
intertwined.
it's
All of
personally,
them are
intertwined,
please
intertwined.
go ahead.
and they seem not to understand these things. Okay, so
Okay.
now,
Odogo, I have a
now,
question. Let me ask a question. In
okay,
the 40 something years of your life that you were a Christian, did
yeah,
Christianity make you bad? Did it exploit you? Or
okay,
was it beneficiary to you?
nice question, nice question. Let me tell you what Christianity did to me. One is Christianity made me to be naive. I was so naive. In fact, I knew nothing about life. Hey, I knew nothing about life.
But it
Okay,
kept you focused.
I wouldn't say it kept me focused. It kept me doing what I was told to do. It kept me believing that my hope is built on nothing less
Yes.
than Jesus Christ and righteousness. It kept me believing that I should not worry about earthly things, but that my riches are stored in heaven. It kept me believing that every day as the next day that Jesus Christ must come or trumpet will sound. If you know where I'm coming from,
Yeah, but did
Assemblies
it
of God.
affect your
Now,
morality in the
yeah,
right or
Yeah,
fantastic.
I
Now,
do think
yeah, I'm
like
coming.
you said, you are a
Please
good person.
let me answer my question, my sister. Please, no verse, I beg you. Now, it affected my morality.
Mm.
But even people who are not Christian, I have seen Omenana people who are so moral, even more morals, more righteous than the so-called Christians. But the Christian will tell you that it is self-righteousness, that once Christ is not there, that one is filthy right. It is not righteousness. That it is their own version of righteousness that is righteousness. So Christianity, of course, because my parents were not allowing us to to party, to drink, to look after women and all those things. Of course, there are also men and people who don't allow their daughters and their girls to do that, but no, their own, because they don't have Christ, their own is like a filthy rag, even though they are righteous. So yes, it affected me, my
No,
morals, and all of those things.
no, it's like you are drawing a conclusion from. I'm asking you your own experience. Like your
My
own.
own experience, yes, my own experience, yes. I had good morals, one, but I am taking it further that even without Christianity, if I had such a family, such a parent, I will still have good morals.
But maybe your parents won't have that kind of morality if they were not Christians. Maybe.
Yeah, no, no, but it is not. The whole people in the world were they Christians? What
No.
about the Japanese? Japanese are moral people.
Yeah.
Some of the evil that happen in Nigeria, in Igbo land, don't happen in Japan. I swear, if you go there.
Of course.
Very moral people and very righteous people.
Yeah.
So will you say their own is not righteousness because they are not Christians?
No.
Uh-huh. So that's
No.
what I'm saying.
I'm trying to. I don't know. Like I'm trying to say, because the way we are, there is something like Germans will call resource oriented blick. Like when you are looking at something and you are looking either at the positive side, concentrating all on the positive side, or are you looking at the deficits? Like is your viewpoint at the deficit? You understand? And then when you are looking at that deficient point of view, are you looking to change, to correct, to make it better, or just, to break it down? You understand? So I personally, I don't know where I would be if I was not raised as a Christian. I would put it like that. That's my personal.
So now, if you come to Nigeria, all the northern parts are Muslims. Do you know that an average Muslim girl, and I'm not joking, I'm from the southeast, and we are almost 100% Christians. But an average Muslim girl is have more morals and more righteous than an average Christian girl, as in their lifestyle, what they do, even though they are Christians and they have Christian parents around. So
Yeah.
we cannot say because we are Christians that we have good moral is because that if we were not Christians, that you wouldn't have been so righteous or moral, have good moral if you were not Christian. There are good
Yeah,
people everywhere.
it
Blessed
presented an
Blessed
avenue through which it's like,
Blessed
yeah.
Of course,
I know
of
that
course.
Odogu don't like me meddling in his talk, but let me say this.
No, no,
What you
no,
are saying is this.
Mhm.
What you are saying is this. I understand is that religion has its force. However, it shapes us morally. Even the
Yes,
northern girls we're talking about,
of
it
course,
was the
yes.
religion that shaped them. I will give you an example. Go to social media, look at the shame. Somebody made a comment under a comment that I was jealous of Kora Obidi because she was stripping, and people were calling rejecting her. This cannot happen from in the northern among the northern girls. Cause of
Mhm.
religion. I am ashamed. Somebody said I was jealous of a stripper. I was looking at me, a nurse, working to be a nurse practitioner, being jealous of a stripper. How? Where? When? It's
Okay,
because of what? Religion. It doesn't matter, be it Christian, whatever. Yes,
yeah. So
religion can be a
what I'm trying
sedation.
to say
And the
is,
sedative effect of religion is shaping your moral. Part of the sedative effect is shaping you morally.
and control.
Well,
And
The
eh?
major, the
I
major,
control.
the
And yeah,
major reason for organized religion is control.
Even
uh-huh.
in Omenana will also Omenana have like what you abhor, what you don't even, what we call alo, and what is
Ex-
sacrilege.
No, no,
So
it doesn't have to
so
be
keep
alo. It doesn't have to
No,
be. I'll
no.
give you an example.
No,
Where I
wait,
came
wait.
from, you
I
can't
just want
marry
to
our daughter
establish
on
something.
Nkwo Market Day.
No,
Where I came from,
let's not
where I came from, you can't
individualize
marry
it.
us on Nkwo Market Day. Huh? And
Yeah,
if you are going to marry us on Oye, you have to do everything before 6 p.m. Or
okay.
if you are going to marry us
I
on
don't
our
want to
for
go
market
down to
day, you
those,
do everything before 6 p.m.
wait,
That
wait,
is
Now, I
not
want,
killing.
wait first, please. I don't want us to be going into all this small. I want us to be on a little bit higher level that
Okay.
encompasses everything, right? So I'm saying that organized religion has one goal. That goal is control,
yes,
right? And it doesn't matter the persuasion, whether it's Christian, whether it's Hindu, whether it's Islam, whether it's our traditional religion, is control based on superstition. It doesn't matter,
yeah,
whatever religion. It's control at a cognitive subconscious level. And that is why it's very important to penetrate that control from an early age, where the child assumes that subconsciously and functions at that level. You understand? And I say, if we are saying we want to replace Christianity, we need to have a traditional persuasion that is organized, that can also come up with ideologies and philosophies that are centric, generic, and that can simulate that same level of control. Otherwise, you can't break down an organized, institutionalized religion just by being antagonistic. It's not going to work. Yeah, you can
well,
talk.
Blessed of, I
well,
have a question.
um,
I have a question. This
I,
religion of 13 and Nigeria and this Christianity and its effects and its sedative effect. Is it only Eastern Nigerians that embrace Christianity in Nigeria?
What are we saying? Christianity is all over the world. It's even in the northern
No, I
Nigeria.
mean in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Because
no,
the way the Easterners are making it look like it is our problem, instead of looking at Biafra as our problem. Is it only Eastern Nigeria that accepted Christianity? Because every battle in our life, Odogu says something that is very honest. Everybody believe in Biafra. If you Igbo push in the name of Biafra, they will applaud you. But if Igbo put the same issue without putting Biafra in the act, you get where I'm coming from.
yeah.
Before
So
the church
our
and before the
brother is
traditionalists.
asking a
So
question. He said, "So you people are saying that without foreigners bringing in their religion, Africans have no morals?"
that's
No, we are not
that's
saying
where
that.
I want
We are
the
not
one
saying
of our
that.
brothers.
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's like a battle. Who overcomes in a battle? A superior fire force, right? So this is something that is organized and institutionalized, and it has spread, and it has some kind of a central message and a central body that is putting it out. And in the traditional religion, you don't have that.
with good strategy to disseminate it.
Yeah, you don't have it in the traditional religion. You have example of what our sister was describing in her village. You don't do like this. In every village, in every corner, everybody is doing their own thing. You understand? And this is one of the impediments of the Nigerian government till today, because even though we have a federal government, a state government, at the level of the villages and the local government, it is still functioning according to my culture, my custom. Nobody is taking the state or the laws of the state into consideration in their daily activities, in their daily lives. And it doesn't work like that in other states. In other countries, it's the law of the land that determines what you are doing, your daily life operation. So we have not gotten there. So our battle is psychological, is cognitive. We have to get there in our mind first. We have not gotten there. We are grasping like a drowning man, grasping here, grasping here. We are not able to, we don't have the mental rigor. In short, we don't have that mental rigor. Yeah. Odogu, you are free to say. We have our brother Henry Chimeze. You are welcome.
Yeah, good evening, blessed one. And Odogu, good evening.
Yeah.
My will come in form of question,
Okay.
So I think I've tried to be not so careful, but when people say let's go back to our roots, the question I'm asking myself, our root was there. The question I should be asking, why the drift away from the traditions? Why are people moving away, tilting away from it? These are things that calls for maybe if I would say academic research or sampling opinion or trying to raise a questionnaire. You
Um,
know,
we have already addressed it that one, they were forced because
let's
in
say
the
them.
beginning there was a lot of resistance, and in fact there's a documented battle. In the beginning, the priests were not just laymen; they were military soldiers that came as the
They
reference,
were.
you know,
There
and
was
No, no,
there
no,
was a kind
no.
of force.
Bless them.
you
I
know.
think you misunderstood
So
my question. My
okay,
question is why are people moving away from tradition,
I
ordinary,
get your
ordinary?
question. I'm trying to address it that
Henry,
one there was they were forced, and second, because of the dissatisfaction, because of the
The
problems,
challenges.
like Odogu call them challenges, that people were going through in the traditional religion, and
exactly.
Christianity was the refuge. Like we are talking about woman sacrifice even till today. We are talking about the dilemma of Osu, being an Osu in your own
What
homeland,
and giving birth to
2020,
multiple
and
children
that
at a time that was considered a taboo. Church
people only
promised
had
them to.
that refuge and that solace in church, in religion, and they went into it.
Can I come in? Can I come in?
Yeah,
I want to do, yeah.
yeah.
See, yeah, honestly speaking, yeah, in in those ancient time when we had the institution of Igbo cosmology or tradition, because each society is organic, there is always another influence that always want to come to attack an organized institution, which is good, a very good organized institution, like what you are seeing in the church now. Some people will be asking, is this what is happening in church? It's as if some people are invading the church, or taking over the church and doing a lot of things that people outside the church are worrying about, or even some people in the church are worrying about. The same thing happened in those days. There is this very serene and very accurate institution, Igbo traditional institution that we had in those days. But there is always this um, um, evil attack. I don't know what to call it. That always want to come and begin to do certain things, because if you study Igbo tradition, there are fundamental rules. Which one is life is sacred, and life you dare not take life. So how can the people whose tradition is that you cannot take life, because taking life is considered abomination and a sacrilege, and then the same people will still be sacrificing human beings? No, it does not tally. The thing is that there are people wherever they learned that thing from, who came and began to do it as they learned, but that was not in the original normal pure Igbo tradition, because pure Igbo tradition says that Igbo mado baalo, sacrificing on offering any person, any this and that baalo. And how can people who tell you that na Igbo mado baalo nsọ, and when you commit that nsọ imelugo, okay, then turn out and be killing somebody as a sacrifice? No, that thing is something they learned somewhere. I don't know where they learned. You understand? So
And also,
now, but I want to finish.
that
One,
we really
I want
cannot
to.
dispute it that in the
Yes,
name of our
I am telling you. I want to end up with. I want to attempt to answer the question of brother, the other brother that spoke. He said he asked a question.
tradition.
Where are the people that are going to teach us the real, going back to Igbo Igbo spirituality?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the thing is, before you have order, before you have order, there must be chaos, chaos and order, chaos and order. That's nature. Now you are having a lot of chaos now because remember that chaos you had.
And I'm a
Hello,
30-year-old mom. About a year ago, I decided to get a
hello.
breast augmentation surgery
Someone is talking.
just to regain my confidence and
I
to
don't
feel
know
my
where that talk is coming from. Oh, okay. Continue.
So, so there's always chaos and order. Now you are having something like chaos. This chaos is coming even both from Christianity and from and from tradition. Now, but the thing is that many people, including myself and so many people, even people who are coming from the church, are saying we want to go back to Omenana because people are tired from what they are seeing. Now, the thing is that the truth is that we must all pass through these phases of realization, like awakening, seeing all the things like what you just show women, mama, mother, people's mother kneeling down and walking, trekking the whole places. We must come and to the realization that what is happening before us, okay, and again, what is happening in the so-called domain, and why are people deceiving people with okit and all of these things and taking people's money? We must that must continue to happen until everybody now begin to come to an understanding that no, this is wrong, this is wrong. Now, and then you now come to going back to wherever you want to go. Now, we also have some minute groups here and there. Some people are teaching and discussing about Igbo African spirituality, and some people also are discussing their own. But the thing is that sometimes they have conflict, okay, of interest or idea. They are disagreeing in one way or the other. But that is how change comes. You know, people are discussing, people are discussing, people are discussing because all of them have discovered that something is wrong somewhere. But the time will come when everything will come to merge, and then you will now begin to have order. You now begin to have order. So that is just the same. That the way I want to answer our brother. We have groups. Me, I have a group I belong to, and I have belonged in some groups before, which I left. Okay, but I'm in a group now. We talk about African spirituality. You understand? And there are certain things we don't like. All this spying of people here, sacrificing people here, and all this doing like beating drums and gathering people as if we are still creating something like a church somewhere in the name of Omenana. I don't subscribe to that. So we will pass through this phase, and then we'll now begin to come to order. You understand? I don't know when it's going to be because this thing take a long year before we get to where we are now. And finally, before I go, the genesis of this thing is, I used to say, everything we are doing in Africa, in Igbo land, everywhere, is something that we borrowed, that were brought to us from somewhere, from a foreign land. Okay? So our main problem is that the should I call it the colonizers or the invaders, that they came to our land to colonize, to enslave, and to indoctrinate. Okay, so that is our main problem. Look at what is happening in church. So now, have
Okay,
we been left?
before you continue, this is going on in a church. So this man is a black African man, you know. The colonial master brought Christianity to him, right? But this is the version of Christianity he's subjecting
That he
his
has developed into. Yeah.
okay.
You know, so finally, like I'm saying, so had we been left alone with all our challenges, of course, every society wants to better their survivor, their future, their destiny. Had we been left alone, by now, what we will be talking is not all these things we are talking. Maybe Igbo spirituality or African spirituality or traditional will must have metamorphosed to something very pure and very respectful. You understand? Going by what we know that we used to consider evil and sacrilegious. You understand? So that is our problem. And that's why we are scattered everywhere today. Thank you so much. I don't know if
So
I
the
attempted
pastor asked them to eat grass.
and they are eating grass.
And
and they're eating
I
grass.
don't know where people ate grass in any other in the Bible or any other part of the world practicing the
I
same
don't know.
teaching.
You
Um,
see, look at. Did you
That
see
is
one?
what you
Sorry.
know what?
Did you see
Blessed
one where
Yeah,
one
yeah, bro.
pastor woman was feeding her breast to a man in the church?
yeah,
She brought out her breast, and one man was sucking it in the presence of everybody to sort out all his problem.
you know, like what we can do is somebody that subject people to something like this
But that's
should be
can I say
arrested.
something? Can I say something fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, huh? I think that's
Yeah.
equivalent to all them because now you got DBS on the internet. We see them on YouTube. So that
Mm.
pastor making people eat grass is equivalent to the DBS telling people to bring human. I don't know how they do these things. They convince
Yeah.
a man you're gonna bring another human head, and that's how you're gonna
Yeah.
make money. I can't
Yeah.
understand the rationale behind that. So it's still the
Yeah.
same thing. So you see,
Yeah.
the problem is mental. It don't
Yeah.
matter what school of thought the
It's
people
at
go to.
yeah. It's
The
at the
problem is
community
mental.
level.
That's why I
Yeah.
really
Is
agree
the
with
thank you,
the
my
host.
brother. It is mental. It doesn't matter under what
Yeah.
umbrella they are preaching it. It
Yeah.
is mental.
So at the end of the
Mhm.
day, the one that is superior will overtake, where people
Yeah.
have a level of solace. I mean, you there's nothing that is worse than taking a human life.
Blessed them. Should I say my
And do you
observation?
remember Chinua Achebe's hit book, Things Fall
Things fall
Apart?
apart.
One of the core scenes in that book was the taking away of that
Of
boy
Ike
who
Mefuna.
thought
Ike
he
Mefuna.
is a father. He was
Ike Mefuna.
Ikemefuna. I don't know. That book traumatized me for so long. But when I grew up, I now saw that it was being
It
elevated
was
as number one, and all that kind of a thing. So, there are so many elements to it. But, whatever the white man, the colonial master was doing, coming to do, it's almost like that scenario where Ikemefula was used as a sacrifice truncated it. It's I don't know.
blessed them. Do you know that I love that book, but I had to reevaluate my view about that book. When I see that book depicting taking Ike Mefula as a bravery act of an element of our culture, it kind of made me kind of reevaluate what we take
But
to
And
see.
it's a
if you look
reality in our culture. It's a
at
reality we have to
Akabe,
admit
yeah,
That's
that
what
things
I'm
like that
saying. That it
happen.
kind of made me
Yeah,
reevaluate
facts,
what we truly applaud as a people. If Okonkwo
facts.
was deemed brave for doing such heinous thing, if Okonkwo was the
Facts.
mouthpiece of the people, was well respected for doing such thing, and he turned around and called the other men who do not want to subscribe to that idea effeminate men. He said that
Yeah,
there are women in men clothing. So he kind of, I love that book so much better about
yeah.
the past
There's a
5 years.
there's a lesson in that book that in the
I
end,
try to reevaluate what I take
maybe you
serious.
can read that book again, you will see that Okonkwo's downfall and in connection also the Igbo culture downfall, right?
Was
Or
stuff like that.
was as an offshoot of Ikemefula's sacrifice, because right from there, the white man keyed on that and overtook a lot of people. Even Obi Erika, his close friend, was disappointed. You understand? So if you look at that book, even though it had a lot of plot talking about our virtues, how they came, how they took our brothers and turned our brothers against each other, but the climax was Ikemefula being sacrificed, and the aftermath of what happened to Okonkwo after Ikemefula was sacrificed, that he had to, by himself. That is the ultimate hard capitulation, if you may. Yeah.
Okay. And I said I noticed a trend, blessed them. In that this current day religious brainwashing, in current day traditional brainwashing, I don't mean real traditionalists that are honest. Did you notice that it is the down trouser, the very poor, that
Mm.
I usually, and even the current day Biafra, the illusion of a country. Did you notice that it is very poor that
that's a
champions it
fact.
on the forefront?
That's a
They are the
fact. Yeah.
major victims.
Yeah. So what we need to do, we need to empower people to use their mind.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You
True
know,
that.
Use
I agree
your
with you.
mind.
I
you
agree.
have to
your
teach people
mind is
how to
everything.
use their mind more, right? Like instead of fighting an already established institution, you have to let it's just like
Use
raising
your
the
act
child,
to defeat
you know.
them. Use your
We are
act to
raising children
defeat
so
them.
that they will become independent, self-sufficient individuals to make their own decisions later. I think this is what we have to do, because right now in the minds of our people it's like infantile, like they are like there at everybody's wit end. So if we can teach them mindfulness, how to use their mind, they will decipher these things by themselves, like
Think,
they will
but
see it
think about
coming.
the role.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. I wanted to say something. I don't know if another person is
We
saying.
can't hear you. We can't hear you. I don't know what
Can you hear
happened.
me? Can you hear me?
Your network is bad.
What
We can hear you.
okay. What I wanted to say is that Blessedom, I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree in I am for fighting an already organized institution. And I will explain why I disagree, because you say no, not fighting an already established institution. I disagree to that. And why I disagree is this. I am of the opinion that Igbo spirituality, which we call Omenana or Dinani, was an institution, and it was fought. And you also agree that it was fought against before they established whatever we have now. And it does not mean that we are the worst of human beings on earth. It was because of the survival of the fittest, because of um, the the conquest. You understand? These people desire to conquer people, okay, to divide and conquer. You understand? So they succeeded. So I cannot say because they have succeeded and everything that we are doing today is as a result of that conquest. And then so we don't have to fight an already established institution. Now,
No,
but
no.
what?
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Please,
Wait,
please,
wait.
let
I
me
want
finish.
to
Let me
interject.
finish.
Okay.
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
But what I don't want to agree with is the way you fight that established institution.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to going to attack anybody because you are fighting an already established institution. I don't subscribe to inflicting any bodily harm on anybody. But if it is talking and trying to explain things and trying to debunk things that you know are questionable, my dear, I am for that. And that is what I do. I don't support going to fight anybody, beat anybody. But if it is to speak with my mouth and to, for example, read some things and debunk and tell you this is how it happened, go and make your research. And if anybody consider it a fight, well, I don't think I consider it a fight.
No,
So
Odogu,
that's
no.
that is
Odogu,
what
Okay.
I mean.
I get what.
Odogu,
Wait, I
Yes,
get what.
Odogu.
Please let
You
me
say
yes.
say
you are
something.
not trying to fight. You want to fight. Then you ended it with we are not trying to fight. I have a question
Fight
for
is
you,
But
Odogu.
wait,
okay.
I
Ask me.
have a
Ask.
question
Ask.
for you, Odogu.
let me say
Ask.
Let
Ask.
something.
me ask you a question. I am
Ask.
an ardent follower. You see this Odogu, I am an ardent follower of this man from the time he was on now Okechukwu with a big platform until he
Yeah.
lost his platform. When he opened the account, which I was the first 10 that subscribed. So I am an ardent
Okay.
follower. Now remember, I am a
Mm.
Christian. You are not, but I'm not dogmatic. Okay.
I know. Yeah.
So
Ask me your question.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nnayo Okechukwu. Blessed of
Yeah.
made a comment that our thought is on the infantile. That is why we easily get dominated with any new ideology. You
Mm-hmm.
are like exceptional. Of all the people trying to revive our tradition and debunk what they think is not what is it was lies, how many of
Mm-hmm.
them are violent free like you? I don't want and that they are vocal about it. How many platforms that will come in the name of Omenane are as civil as your platform? That's my question to you, Odogu. And
Okay.
remember, Blessed says something that is truth. These people we are dealing with, their mentality is on the infantile. I graduated from the infantile. That's why I don't see your religious affiliation as my problem. I care about what you have in your head more
Mm.
than what you have in your religious belief. So that's the question.
Okay. Again, honestly, I don't want to support anybody who want to fight by way of like what we know about fighting, going all out to fight anybody. You understand? But to be honest, we must be honest also when we are discussing, when we are having such this type of discussion, irrespective of where we belong. Yeah. But to be honest, we knew how Christianity or even Islam came to Africa. It was always by conquest. Okay. Now we were a people before these people came, and we had our institutions of and how we live our lives. So now, in trying to change, because change is always constant. But if you want to make a change, let it be a change for good. Yeah. So now I disagree with some of my brothers who are also professing Omenana. I mean, you hear me come out and I fight them, okay? But I also find out in the Bible that I read, we can have this discussion, maybe private, if even if it's not here, where even before I left Christianity, there are question marks in my head everywhere. Nobody seems to be giving me answers, including pastors. And then I began to make research. This research even took me to America. Like I've been to New York and even New Jersey. I was trying to connect a lot of dots, and then until to a point I said, you know what, I'm done with religion, and I didn't hide it even to my family. So now, yes, it is always good to be civil whenever you are doing something because
No, that's not my question. I said
Wait,
that you're
wait,
trying to
wait first.
awaken our people with low
Let
mentality.
me say
How
something,
many
please.
people are civil as you are? Or
Wait,
don't you think that
no,
everyone had that way bendi Igbo na agbaje?
okay,
Because that is the
okay,
trend I see.
yeah,
Everyone
okay,
had that
okay,
can
okay, okay,
agbaje
okay.
Igbo.
Sorry. Thank you for reminding me your question. Yes, the thing is, like I said, the thing is that there are some of our people who are not civil the way they carry out their whatever they are doing. You understand? But there are also people who are civil. Honestly, to be honest with you, there are also people who are
Somebody
civil.
asked Odogu, somebody asked you this question. Odogu, but you supported Mateyaku who preaches violence. How come?
No. Have you ever seen me? Listen, go to my video and find anywhere before prior to the arrest of Matthias. What I hated was how these guys came to where they were doing whatever they were doing and arrested him and shot somebody.
No, Matthias created the scene when he refused to honor their invitation.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying what he was doing or how he was calling people out. I was against how he was speak, and I came out and said he has to be released. So, but there was no place I am supporting like Matthias version of Omenan or something like that. You understand? No, I have never come and make a video and say I am in support of Matthias. Of course, you see a lot of people on Facebook. Yes, I am on your Omenana,
okay,
but
let me ask my question, Odogun.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
From my own experience, obviously you are much older than myself. In the
Hmm.
village, when I was growing up, yeah, the Christian religion and Omenala was running concurrently. They were doing
Simple.
traditional things, they were doing Christian things, you know.
Simple.
And they were doing Omenale. There were cultural festivals that took place, and people will come from other community. It was celebrated, right? And there are rites that they used to do, and young people. There are so many things. It was
Even
going side
Christmas will
by
feature
side,
masquerade. Blessed them. Even
even the
Christmas will feature
burial.
masquerade.
When someone dies, sipuriari, or those ijoase, all those things, when they want to get married, doing better, like all those things were going hand in hand, hand in hand.
Christmas was featuring
But
masquerade.
yeah, but there was something always associated with traditionalists. That was fear. People were afraid of them, or like for example, they had knowledge of some herbs, or they can use it to wreck you. They can use it to do so much evil, and
Facts.
people were afraid of them, and that fear of the things that can be done. I remember then when someone gave birth to a child, they would go and ask who is the person that have come back to reincarnate. I don't know if they are still doing it, right? That was what
Blessed them.
always happened, right? But along the line, and I think I don't know exactly why people eventually abandoned to a large
Blessed
extent.
them. You have come to that question I asked earlier. You people drifted it. That's why I didn't
Okay,
want to complain.
okay,
Now, I asked that question, but you people went the other way. You remember the
okay.
question I asked? Why are people drifting away?
Yeah.
Ndị na-agba pin,
Although we are
ochere,
the elder
ọnọla,
here.
I am coming, I am
Ojo,
coming. You see, let us face the reality today, right?
Mm.
The tradition, the culture, the omenani is there. My own
But
parents
it
will be
was
traveling.
too
I am
harsh.
coming. I am coming. My own parents will be traveling soon because there's a traditional ritual that will be performed in my community as a whole. You understand? Nobody's running away from it. The question people are not asking, why the drift? Now, we saw, okay, like this inheriting of women is part of it. Oppression is part of it. Diabolic act is part of it. You know, even before the Southeast went south the way it is today, most people are afraid to attend Christmas functions because of the Anna. Is that true or false? Or let's face the
Okay.
reality. Not until we begin to unearth what is that made people to start drifting away. That now there became a force. Two forces are fighting. The blood of Jesus over the tradition. That even see people come back home. They come back Christmas. They'll begin to do night vigil. They'll begin to pray. Who are they praying against? Their uncle
Yeah.
that they believe is mystically or diabolically or ghastly after them. I know a family in my village that they ran for safety to Kanu because of what? The uncle want to finish all of them. You know, let's face the reality. These are questions we need to ask. Not people. Why did people move away from it? Why is the new
Can I say what I
generation
think,
drifting away?
brother? Can I
Okay,
say what I think?
yeah, yeah, you can say something. You're welcome.
Yeah, I like the question it's asking because I wonder that too. And
Okay, oh,
when I wonder
okay.
things, I try to
Now, like
search.
that, yeah.
You know, I think it's because the traditional our culture is based on superstition. This is a
Mm-hmm.
culture that is so old, so
Mm.
old. And most of the things that it's founded on, the foundation of the culture, everything about it was orally passed down. There was no we had a script, right? The whole Eastern Nigeria had a script, but it was you need to be initiated to even be able to read the script. So everything was the way the traditional system is built up. It's just the way the system. That's how I see capitalism. That's how
Yeah,
I see socialism.
let me add to what you are saying. The the
Yeah,
the system, the knowledge, the philosophy, whatever, the knowledge that came with it was mystified.
yeah, mystifies,
They,
100%, hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah, they mystified the knowledge, and so
It
you
was
have to
To
not
go.
protect it, and,
known
and
to
I think they did it for
everybody.
good, to protect
Yeah,
it, to preserve
yeah.
it,
So
so it
you
won't
have
be
to
among the profane.
Listen,
So you have
code.
to be initiated to
listen.
be part of it,
Yeah,
and
and
they could pick the
and they
best
never
minds.
had any formal way of teaching that knowledge. So very few people
Yeah,
had access to that information, that herbs that can heal and herbs that can kill.
and
You know,
when they're gone, that knowledge is gone.
no, they are transferring it to a few people, and those people are holding it in mystery, and that's what is actually keeping Africa down, because the knowledge we
Blessed
have
them, they are not.
is still
They are
being
not.
mystified.
Blessed them, they are
There
I
are
don't
not. I
I
will
don't
give
other
think
you.
so. I beg to
societies that have
disagree.
Blessed
Yeah,
them.
documented
They are
and
not
taught it.
transferring it. They are not
they are
Mm,
transferring.
trying.
I'll give
I
you
agree
an
with that
example.
sister. I agree with that
I,
sister. I don't
I'll
think they're
give you an
transferring
example,
it.
blessed them. I came from a family that have the knowledge of using herbal medicine without English medicine to treat convulsion in children. The generation that does it, my uncle died in 2009. Up until now, he promised to teach my mother's last child, who was in elementary school then. He taught him few things, but he didn't tell him the complete mixture, because even if your child can have been seizing for 3 hours, once they put that wounds on your body, the child comes back to normal. He saved my sibling. He saved all of us. But guess what? That thing is phased off
I
now.
don't I don't even
My
think you sister. Sorry to
It's
cut you
based
This
short,
on
is,
but I
my
don't think
family now.
you understand where I'm coming from.
I
Where
want
I
I'm
know
coming
where
to,
you
from,
are coming. You are saying I give the little tiny fraction of the one happening in my family, and because they don't have a normal way of teaching Igbos what is the manuscript of your region. That is why the mystery remains mystery. Everybody's wallowing. Everybody is like moving without direction.
Exactly, and that's where the solution is going to come from. Like I say, it's going to be a cognitive effort, and that cognitive effort is to gather those
Teach
facts,
it
new
in the open.
information, you know,
Teach it in the
facts.
open. Teach
and
people
have
their
a
history in the open.
system. For example, Christianity has the Bible, Islam has the
Exactly.
Quran,
Yes.
Jews have what do they have now? The
Torah.
Torah,
Is it
yeah,
Torah?
the
Torah
Torah,
or something?
right? So
let
what
me
you have mystery.
let me
What
tell you
they have
people
mystery,
something.
If
and
you
most of
don't
them
unveil
need to
that
do.
mystery, if
It
you
makes
don't
us to
unveil
be
the mystery,
afraid
our history will
to
remain.
fear
Igbo
the
traditional
unknown.
society is going to be what it is.
It made
Let
us
me
to
tell you.
fear the unknown. We don't seek knowledge, we fear. And everything
Let
Yes,
they
me.
are doing is out of fear. They
they
That's a
don't want
fact.
to demystify whatever that mystery is, so that we will know the source.
Let
Because
me
This
tell
is
you
there's
people.
no
security.
people.
Let me.
It's hard to find worthy
Can
people.
I say something?
One thing about knowledge is it's hard to find worthy people. Now, if
Can
when
I
I
say
study the Igbo
something?
cosmology, they talk about this present age. Sorry, sir, just 1 second, please, huh? Because now, according to the Igbo cosmology, we are supposed to be in the last Uga. If you know what is an Uga or the age we live in, is an age where our ancestors talked about before, right? And I'm coming from the aspect where I think the knowledge is not passed down because it's not enough worthy people. The the the, the tradition is it's a two-edged sword. The things that can heal you can poison you, right? It's like the same herbs. If I had the
Brother,
knowledge of herbs, right, I could do good or evil with it. So I'm seeing it from the perspective like, what if they're not transferring it down because that's not the age we live in is so evil where the mind of man is so corrupt and desperate, like so evil that if these things are passed down, I think the society is going to be worse off than it is right now. So
wait,
I think it's
brother,
What I want to
that's what I'm trying to
brother,
say.
say.
from Odogu now.
brother.
Yeah,
While
Wait,
I
big
agree
bro,
with you
now you
that
can
they are
speak,
not
sir.
passing it down, I do not agree with you that there is nobody worthy. If they can teach the Bible in open and it's making a big wave, they teach the Quran in open and
Can
it
I
is
say
making a
something
big
or
wave.
should I
They
leave?
teach the Torah in
okay,
open.
now. Yeah,
They
yeah,
should
I
teach
get
our
that point.
manuscript in open. Let
Okay,
people take it from there.
yeah.
Because the Bible didn't destroy people that learned it openly. Quran didn't destroy people that learned it openly. The Torah didn't destroy people that learned it openly. Our manuscript is not going to destroy us.
And if
Let
indeed it
them
has something
demystify it
that is
if they want to
superior.
have a
Can I,
direction in
can
our
I say
tradition.
something or
Yes, sir.
Odogu, you have the flow.
Yes, sir.
okay? I want to start whatever I'm saying now by a proverb, an Igbo proverb. We have one Igbo proverb that says, "Ofeke mala ọgwụ, mmadụ agwụ." Ofeke mala ọgwụ, mmadụ agwụ. You see, our ancestors were so wise to keep certain knowledge within the class of masters, which we call the, not these days, not like today that things are messed up. In those days, there are classes, and we have people who are called Dibia, D of this, D of this, D of this. So our ancestors knew that if Ofeke is just someone with a youthful experience who don't think before someone is making noise.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
our
Odogu, you are saying the same thing. You
so
are saying
hold on
the
now.
same
You are
thing.
interrupting me when you are talking. Do you remember I was keeping quiet and I was listening to you people? Hear
Okay.
me out now. What I'm saying, please. So our ancestors say that ofekemalo madawu, which means there are certain knowledge that are meant for certain people, and if you want to delve into practicing that type of knowledge, like medicine, certain medicine, because like this our brother said, every medicine has like the negative aspect of it. So if you want to begin to practice in that type of this thing, you have to come and then pass under a tutorship of someone who already knows about that. And that person will take you through all the years. Sometimes it's not even what you have today. You go through so many years, and you even a kind of, you are initiated that you are not going to use it to do anything evil, to hurt anybody. Like today, you have some dibia that if you go to their place and say, I want medicine to buy somebody or to do something, you say, Bia, work out for my place. I am not this type of dibia that do that kind of thing. So that's what that's how I want to explain that aspect of it. But another thing I want to say is the question that Henry asked: why were people drifting away either from church or from here to here? In my experience, I witnessed what was done to people who are still. Our sister said that tradition was running concurrently with Christianity in those days. And if you remember, I did my hand like this. Yeah. In those days, Christianity, after Christianity came, Christianity was like going up, going up, going up. Why African tradition was coming down, coming down. So Christianity was going up, African tradition was going down, going down. This one was going up. You understand? Till until what it
Yeah,
became
but that's what
today.
Henry Chimeze is asking. That
Yes,
in
I'm
our
coming.
lifetime,
I'm coming, and I want to.
first, they
I'm
gravitated on their own. So that's the question you should
Yeah,
ask.
so I'm trying to tell you what happened. So when that was happening, I remember in those days that some young people, like my parents, would begin to go to church. But their parents, like my grandfather and my grandmother, were not Christians. Okay, my father was not even born in Christianity. But after the school, because in the school you recite some religious whatever, and then they began to go to church. Now they became Christians. Now, but when you come to Christianity, you will discover that anatotoka, like what you call, I don't know what it's called in English. Then in Pentecostal churches, they will teach you, if your parents die, for example, in the village, you are not allowed to go and mourn your father or your mother, for example. And then you are now left in between the church and performing the traditional rites to your mother or your father who died. And then sometimes you say, no, you travel, you go and bury your mother. Then you wear the black cloth or whatever. When you come back to the city, they see that you traveled. You didn't take what we call traveling paper in Assemblies of God in those days. They will excommunicate you. You will stay at the back and nobody will have anything to do with you. Then you don't want to lose that relationship. And then you begin to blame yourself. Why did you disobey the church? Okay, so which means you have to obey the church and forget your people. In fact, it was also written in the Bible and it was also preached in those days. You don't have anything to do once you're born again, even if your mother or your father is an unbeliever and they don't want to receive Christ or join you. Some people in those days rejected their mother and their father. They say Christ did not go, Christ came, and that when you accept him, if your mother is an unbeliever and all of those things, it happened. So many people left their mother, so many people left their father, and then they begin.
Yeah, Odogo, but you are in the beginning it was Anglican and Catholic and Baptist and Methodist. This set of Orthodox churches never interfered with
Hold
our.
on, hold on now, hold on. I still have the floor. Even in the Anglican, if you are not baptized, if you are not confirmed, you will not be accepted. Anglicans don't go if you are a full member. If only in a confirmation Anglican, you are baptized, but your father died and your father did not confirm, your father did not baptize, they will go and bury your father. So there was this conflict that made people begin to drift from completely, and even some families, some fathers and some mothers now begin to listen to their children. Okay, they now begin to follow them and drift and begin to go to church. I remember when my grandmother, who was not a Christian, when we came back, our father, he told us, not by that she had accepted Christ, so but just that she want to start following them, go to church, because he was seeing what was happening or what they were doing to the people who don't go to church in the village or who refuse to follow that distance. So that there was a conflict between.
When you finish, I will respond.
No, wait first. I want to ask the question that she asked again, because you were saying ofeke marogu something. I've forgotten how you put it. Like
Ofeke marogu
madagu, for exactly. I'm coming back to that ofeke marogu madagu idea that you are talking about, and what our sister
idea is a proverb in Igbo land. Inu.
Yeah, like
we understand.
I mean,
we understand what it means. Like that is, if you give you don't reveal certain secret to people that are not supposed to know it, otherwise it will no longer be a secret.
Yeah, but
that's what you imply.
Our ideology,
not otherwise it's no longer going to be a secret. Otherwise, they will use it and harm other people.
They will use it
exactly, brother. Exactly. That's my point.
Otherwise, they will use it and harm other people. Not it will no longer be a secret.
But it's still not addressing that question that if Western medicine can be taught, if Chinese medicine can be taught, if Christianity can be taught through the Bible, if Quran can teach Islam.
That's why I said I want to respond. Blessed
can teach values of Jewish people. For example, why must our own be mystified?
That's why I wanted to.
You asked a question, but now let me answer it. You asked a question. Who told you that our own is not taught? Our own is also.
Where is the manuscript? With which manuscript?
Manuscript?
Yes, with which Bible? With which
manuscript? Oh, must we have a Bible? Do you see how you put it now? With which book?
I'm not talking about Bible alone.
Not according to everybody in every corner.
Listen.
What I mean by Bible is that they have Book of Mormon, they have Quran, they have Bible, they have Torah.
We were not always writing. We were not always right. Listen, we were not always writing the way we write now. When did it even started? Do you know that printing machine started in Germany? They found it. They started, printing machine. When did it even start? It's not even like
it didn't start in Germany.
It started in Germany. It started in Germany.
In China.
It started in Germany. It started the first printing machine. The first printing machine started in Germany. We can debate it.
Yeah, but
you understand? I am very, very sure. So I'm coming. Let me answer this.
Just one thing. About our this thing being mystified. Because if you let it out, it might produce. People might use it for what it is not.
Let me answer what Blessed I'm saying. You can now ask your own. So we had our own. Everything was. We have our own data. We have our own forms of keeping data. We also had our own forms of writing, which was not in this Latin alphabetical order that we know today, which we learned the other day. You understand? So. In those days, do you know that if you go to the village, you will see some inscriptions written in some old mud house? Those are some of the remnants of our ways of writing. You understand? So it's not as if we don't even write at all, even though we have also like transferred knowledge. We had our own ways of writing. So, and if anybody, we also learn, like you study to become a doctor today. If you want to become a doctor, we also have that institution that you can go and learn and become a qualified dibia. Mbologu. In Igbo land and everywhere in Africa. Yes, we had it.
Yes. I'm going to respond from medical point of view. When you say the learn dibia, and is it like organized teaching and learning? Because why I'm saying this thing is because every medicine you see in the store shelf today has the natural version. But scientists found out that the natural version was too strong. That was why we started having synthetic. Because If the natural one is going to produce the side effect, it's usually more than manageable. So they now reverse to synthetic version that will have lesser side effect. And do keep in mind that when you say if they teach it, it will destroy stuff. Remember that medication like insulin can be life-saving to diabetics if properly used, but that medicine is very little. That is why they have what they call the antidote, like glucagon. If your insulin is taking your life now, glucagon immediately neutralizes its effect. Why not make this our religion open, so that if it's going to go south, we will start developing antidotes? And please, I want to understand where they teach that our traditional medicine in a well-organized, documented matter, not in mystery, using the undocumented and the non-verifiable facts to teach the next generation. Please,
Yeah,
where does that happen?
thank you. The truth is, we are talking about how we used to be and what we have experienced, but in truth, what we are looking at is for the way forward, right? So from all these things we are saying now, what is the way forward? The way forward is, according to what our sister wrote, that they are divided, that people get this knowledge, they are going to use it to the detriment of a lot of people, right? And the same thing our brother is saying, that who is going to be the one that will bring that reformation that is
Uh,
needed? Because very
Blessed,
few upright people
let me just
are
add
there,
something quickly.
you know.
Yeah, Odogu may not agree, but the reality is this: the minute we all consciously embrace science and technology, our tradition is going. That is the truth.
Facts. But
Almost
science and
everybody wants to
technology is
live.
still tradition, brother.
I am
You
coming.
feel me?
Everybody wants to
Okay.
live a modern life. One thing people need to understand, I said, not until we begin to ask this key question. Embracing science and technology it was a game changer. Just like what most of you have postulated now. There are tools or software
Of course,
today. If you
I'm not
force
disagreeing, Harry. What you're
Odugu, I'm
saying is
coming.
true.
Odugu, I'm coming
Yeah.
1 minute. There are tools or softwares. If it falls into the hands of wrong persons, they will begin to use to spam and target people.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The same way like
Exactly,
Odogu
brother.
said, Ofeke,
Eh,
Marogu,
Mother.
Madagu.
exactly. That's why
One
But
of
there
the
are
when
most, you see,
something
I
will
am coming,
just
people.
I am
get to
coming, I am coming.
anti-spamware,
My sister, 1 minute.
there's always going to be an
When
antidote
I
when
don't know
we know the
who asked
problem.
this question. Who are those promoting this? The downtrodden, the less exposed. Today, amongst Igbo, those in diaspora, you have scientists, you have people who are well grounded, just like the tool we are using. People are into app development. People are thinking about programming. Who are these people trying to bring up this conversation within our space? That is something I'm looking at.
Even our people that travel, that are studied, our professors, they are falling back on these people in the villages.
It's
Even
appalling.
to
Say
the
for
No,
example
bless
now,
Edom. Bless Edom. You didn't kind of use the right adjective. The people that have traveled, that have studied, that are tired of paying big tax, that want to join the mainstream politics, they fell for all these charlatans, believing that it is going to bring them close to politics.
now,
Yeah, there
It
are
is
now,
two
not.
aspects. There are
my
people
sister,
who fall
let me
to
quickly just
religious
say this.
scams, also
Say,
people who are duped thousands of dollars and pounds by a religious pastor or afar somewhere in the
Yes,
bush. You know,
yes,
you see,
the
you
same
see,
way
my
100%.
sister,
IPOB,
Yes.
yeah, there
I
let
are,
me
know
quickly say
someone
this
that
now.
was due 23 million naira
yeah.
from a pastor in Asaba. She was happy to tell me, do you know I paid my pastor 23 million to pray for me and
My
fasted.
sisters, or fellow panelists, let me just say this, in Nigeria today, practically every Nigerian, even those of us in diaspora, will use the interteller banking system. That app was designed by or developed by a Yoruba guy. That single app or that single, development changed interface banking in Nigeria. That
Mm.
today, practically almost everybody from the comfort of their homes can do transactions. Which if that thing was absent, ordinarily, people will have to either physically go to the bank to pay into other people's accounts or to do some transactions. Today,
And think
we're
about
having
fraud,
people.
bro. Now think about fraud.
I am coming, sir.
Think
One
how
minute
that has
now.
helped. That's why technology is just like
That
tradition. It's
have
a
destroyed
two-edged sword.
Nigerian banking system.
You
People
understand
have
that?
lost
One,
That
millions.
one
just the
minute,
way
sir.
it's
Can I
helped is just
come?
also
Can
destroyed.
I
I'm
come,
just saying.
please?
I'm a sure, brother.
1 minute. Let
Go
me
on, brother.
finish now. Now, people have also come to develop, apps like bill paying points. that today, no matter where you are, if you have the right meter number of your parents, you can top up their meter, even from America. It goes straight into the account. You know, like I did say, remember I said there are tools or software. If it falls into the wrong hands, we're in trouble, right?
Of
Just like
course,
the
of course.
cyberspace. The
Yeah.
same, the same, the same malware, like ethical hacking. You can do these things. Just think about somebody who comes with that knowledge. You can
Yeah,
set to harm people.
we are all saying the same thing. We
You
need to
understand?
harness what we are saying.
No, what I'm saying is this.
No,
Yeah,
no, I get
whoever,
your
no,
point.
bless you, I'm coming. What I'm saying is this: whoever thinks in 2023 that Chimeze is going back to that route, maybe to go and start living in mud houses, start living, that person is joking. I mean, even today now we're talking about genetic farming. Going back to Okanga Worogo.
No, 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 no. You are looking at it from the very rudimentary aspect. That's not actually where we are coming from. We are coming from in a way that we can harness the mind, the idea, the cosmology, and inculcate it in today's system in a way that it can be centralized, in a way that it can benefit
Benefit us
everybody.
all and
But
benefit
there
the
will
unborn
be
generation.
people of
Very correct, sister.
integrity who will be the anchors, who will be those guiding it and holding
Guys,
it, making
can I
sure
exit?
that people don't
Can I
exploit
exit?
it.
I
That
want to
is
attend to
what our
something
brother
while I
said.
listen from behind.
Land. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
you can
thank
give
you
us
so
your
much.
closing remark. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What should I say now? Well, the thing is, while I believe in Onyebiri Beyabiri, huh? I also want to say that people should stop supporting evil.
Mm,
Whether you are a Christian, whether you are a man and a person, anything that is considered abomination or sacrilege in Igbo land, buying of people, selling of all those parts, don't want to mention the other one, and all
yeah.
those things.
Mm,
Stop supporting it. How can you say you're a Christian but you are supporting a group that buy, even if that person they are buying is not an Igbo person?
yeah.
Which heaven are you going?
Yeah.
Then if you say you're a Menana, stop supporting a group that is spying anybody, whether it's Igbo or whether it's Hausa or whether it's Yoruba or whether it's Fulani. You understand? So whichever one you still belong to now, stop supporting any group that is spying any human being. That is
Yeah.
my closing remark. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, guys.
Thank you very
Bye for
much.
now.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Thank you,
yeah.
big bro.
Bye
So
bye.
let's have our closing remarks because it's more than 2 hours. Yeah. My sister, let's hear your closing remark.
Well, blessed thank you for making out time, bringing everybody closer under your platform for us to exchange ideas. No knowledge is a waste.
Mm,
One thing, I am not an anti our tradition because, like I said, I have mingled with people who tell me every single day how I wish I have something to hold on to. I can say it is my culture. So I can never stand up and say, but at the end of the day, there is one thing that is element of culture is that it changes. And the problem we have with our tradition is that they seem to make it static. We
mm,
are in 21st century for God's sake. If
mm,
the world is evolving, their Igbo culture evolve with it.
mm.
Do not be left behind. Evolve with it. Their
Exactly.
Christianity, evolve with it. To 15 years ago, there was not a lot of platform for you to see how TDJ run his church from America.
Yeah.
Today is 15 years later. If
Mm,
your pastor wants you to start eating grass, remember
mm.
that you can never see Joel Osteen followers eating grass.
Yeah.
They won't subscribe to that. They will say no.
Yeah.
Remember that all of them have one manuscript, which is the Bible. It is their standard. And it came from where you are seeing watching Joel Osteen and the rest of them from. If they are not making their members walk or crawl and walk like a dog in their and during their service session. If your pastor want to introduce him, question his standard, question his Bible. Tell him that that the Bible should be universal. There
Yeah.
shouldn't be Bible for Africa and Bible for all. And
Yeah.
most importantly, I notice that people have traded value for money. To everybody, it's all about money, it's all about form. The world, the society degenerated to where it is today because people value money over good name.
Mm.
Try, just make a mark, make it in a way that when you exit, you will be remembered for the impact you made. Money, I have been in a situation where I had a lot of money that I don't know what to do with it. I have been also lived, I've lived to where I don't know where my next meal is coming from. But guess what didn't change? I slept better that time I did it because I have less money, I had less responsibility, I had better, more free peace of mind. Do not attach your happiness to material things because all these people, all these old kids are selling today, all these Awele, Ibube, and all whatnot selling today, they are selling because people think that money guarantees happiness. It does
Yeah.
not. Of all things, religion, call it Islam, Muslim, they have one central theme:
Mm.
morality.
Mm.
Even the traditionalists, a genuine traditional person does not offend person.
Mm.
They have one theme: be morally upright. If you, he, me, she, we, us, all of us come together and treat others with moral consciousness, the world will be a better state. And
Mm.
most importantly, this is 21st century. Be a 21st century compliant. Do not allow another person tell your story.
Yeah.
Read your story, make your research, incorporate it in your daily activities. Thank you all for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. So our brother, you can you can give your own remarks so that we can
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I just want to appreciate what you're doing and
Thank
encourage
you.
you. Keep doing what you're doing. The Lord is your strength.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to everybody who was on the panel, it was nice to hear from you guys. I learned some new things today, and
You're welcome.
I think it's a beautiful culture. The Igbo culture is a beautiful culture. We just need
Mm.
understanding, but and that's why I talk about we need more people who really know about the cosmology.
We need
Let
to
them step up
evolve,
and
evolution,
talk about it.
evolution, evolution.
Yeah,
We need to evolve. Culture is
knowledge.
dynamic, it changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Our brother Henry, I think you already said it that you cannot go back to that.
No, 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 no. Blessed you
Yeah.
know, the thing is this: my community, my town will have a culture, and it's being practiced. Like I did say, by tomorrow, my parents they will be heading to the village
Mm.
because there's a cultural and traditional ceremony and rites which they
Mm.
need to perform.
Mm.
While I was still growing up as a child, I can still remember it's being practiced to date. There are certain days they will kill, like maybe say goats. They'll go kill it somewhere in front of the shrine, and
Mm.
women would not cook it, women would not eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still observed to date. So when
Okay.
I see group of people coming to say they're teaching Igbo people their culture, maybe it's their village, not my village.
Mm.
You understand? You
Yeah.
see, the truth is, I'm more concerned about those propagating this message, their mindset, their agenda, than the umbrella. And like you always say, the culture was there and it's still there. You know, and I mean, people have a right to either tilt towards it or move away, but nobody's gonna come to my clan to teach us our culture. No, Igbo we do not have
Henry,
a centralized culture.
Mm.
Henry, you didn't hear, you probably didn't join when I made my first contribution. What we have today is a lot of people, 90% going towards Nnamdi Kanu's route, not towards our Igbo culture. They are tilting towards Nnamdi Kanu's culture because they have two Igbo cultures today in Igbo land. The true Igbo culture and standard, which you and I, Blessed them and the Nna Okechukwu and the rest operate. And then we have Nnamdi Kanu's culture. And what you see today is people trying to use Nnamdi Kanu's culture to replace Igbo culture. Sorry for the interruption.
No,
Mm.
I agree with you honestly, and that is it. And you know, and the only thing I would have loved, like blessed them, you provide us this platform, and like it could does. But these same people, if they can, so that this group of persons propagating it, I want just to ask them a few questions. There were things that our forefathers left for us. What have you built to modernize it? Till
Mm.
Nothing.
today, if I need to tap the palm wine, I still have to use
Mm.
the
Ete,
traditional way of climbing and climb.
ete.
You know,
Where
at the end of, I mean, let's face reality. I know where these people are coming from. They are trying to get a convoluted conversation. I know the agenda. That is why I don't even listen to them. Like I say, this is 2023. I want to live a modern life. I want to live a life that, technology is there for me to access things and make life easy. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so for me personally, I would like to close because, for example, I was brought up in the Christian religion and it has not done me any bad, you know. And in the Christian version of religion that I grew up in, the pastors or those who were leading the church were not held in that awe that they were not able to be scrutinized. We were scrutinizing them. We had the power to watch what they are doing and report to their authority. So I don't have that in me to be afraid of somebody because he's a pastor, or to take everything that they are saying because they are a pastor. So, and I think that is what is missing today. We need to empower our people not to allow themselves to be subjugated in the name of somebody that is a pastor, that can have authority over you, over your household, as a father, as a mother, to take advantage of your children. And then when it comes to going back to the roots, we have to look at that root again. What is it that is ethical and beneficial in that root? Is there a way to modernize it, to tap into it, to centralize it, to build an institution out of it that can hold society together, that can be a superior alternative force to Christianity, to Islam, to Judaism, to any other faith, right? That's what we should be looking at. And in closing, let's remember there was a time Sarkozy, the former president of France, he went to Dakar, Senegal, and he was giving a speech. And he said something, and I think that is still the root of the whole issue, because we don't know how to evolve. We are kind of stuck. And the big question remains, who will save the day? So I want to pull up the remark from Sarkozy before I close. I don't know if you can read it. Let me increase. No, sorry. Let me increase it a little bit so we can look at it together. So he is saying the tragedy of Africa is that Africa has not fully entered into history. They have never really launched themselves into the future. We are still in the past. I get them before, no be property. We are still in the past. Whatever we had, whatever sustained us, is in the past. I get them before. It is beautiful, it's in the past. And going back to the root doesn't mean you should go and be doing what they were doing 2,000 years ago in 2023, almost 2024. Going back to the root is looking at that root, just like every other person all over the world. All cultures are trying to evolve their culture. This is what we are lacking. So we need to look for a way to evolve and launch ourselves. And until we have something equivalent, we cannot just use all our energy to be fighting something that is existing. Instead, we will fight the evildoer, the wrongdoer, like this man that subjects these people to be eating grass here. For example, this is bodily harm. It's against the law to subject people to this kind of thing. It's against the law. So when you catch somebody, a pastor that does something like this should be arrested. He has broken the law. This is endangerment of the population. So we should fight the people who are taking advantage of religion and doing bad things to the people. You get me? And that is, first of all, the way to fight it. And second of all, enlightenment. Building the mind of our people. Teaching them understanding, critical thinking, mindfulness. So like let me read this thing again. Say the tragedy of Africa is that the African has not fully entered into history. They have never really launched themselves into the future. The African peasants only knew the eternal renewal of time. The eternal renewal of time means we want the same thing. The same thing. It's our culture. It's our tradition. That's how they used to do it. It can never change. How can Osu be Anwadiala? How can Osu and Anwadiala be the same? It's how it used to be. It must be like that. That peasantry eternal renewal of time. If you're a widow, all your property go to your father, brother, even though you have children, even though the children need their inheritance to survive, but your tradition say the brother must inherit the brother property regardless of the fate of his children. That is the eternal renewal of time, marked by endless repetition of the same gesture and the same ways. We have to evolve. We have to evolve out of this eternal repetition of this peasant minded to renew what has happened 2,000 years ago and repeat it, use the same way. Every culture was like that. All over the world, women were not given opportunity. As a matter of fact, Africans used to give women chance. In Africa, there was roles, gender roles, not discriminatory. Everybody had their place. But other cultures, they were subjugating women. And they taught that subjugation to African people, and now they carry them for head. Right? And so you have that repetition, endless repetition of the same gestures, of the same ways. No? There is neither room for human endeavor nor the idea of progress. We must make room for the idea that humanity needs to progress beyond what your forefathers used to do 2,000 years ago. Is there something that is good? Like that man that was doing metal that they were producing. Let me share that video again. Let us go back and harness something like that and teach our people that, because it will help them. I'm trying to bring out that video of our people that were using traditional method of casting iron, to produce metal. Something like this is what we are talking about. This was done thousands of years ago, and we are still repeating it today because we have not launched into today. We are still thousands of years behind. We don't understand what human progress means. We think that pouring concrete and building big edifices is human progress. It is obviously not. It is, how do you industrialize something like this and provide livelihood for millions of youth from that community? And it will be said that this industry started out from this village. Yeah, my people, I will leave it here. And there is always room to continue this conversation in other videos. So I appreciate every one of you that have been part of this video for this long. I appreciate every one of you that give me stars. I don't see the stars when I'm on StreamYard. So I have to go to Facebook before I will be able to see the stars. So for all of you that gave me stars, all of you that did Christmas for me, Una, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. To all of you that support me on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. Continue your celebration. May God continue to bless each and every one of us. At the end of the day, good is good and evil is evil. Regardless of your persuasion, always know that good is good and evil is evil. Do not cover evil because it's coming from your persuasion, and do not see good and deny it that something is good, that here you are looking at something that it is good. You understand? So let us continue to be upright human beings and let our humanity come first, regardless of who you are, your tribe, how much you have, your level of education. Let our humanity always persist in everything we are doing. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye for now.